I don't want to waste your time, so there won't be an intro. In my opinion, Sword and Dagger is the most flexible weapon, and I'm going to be taking a look at why it's so good. Starting with the first light attack, it's a very fast swing that starts from the bottom right and ends at your top left. It does decent damage, and it is good for dealing with trash. As you can see from the angle, it is going to be hard to score headshots, so you don't want to be relying on this attack all the time. This attack also has the linesman attribute, which means it will help you cleave through certain unarmored enemies. So when you're dealing with plague rats and maulers, this attack will cleave through them a little bit. And you can see from the third person's perspective, you also have quite a good amount of reach. You won't be struggling to hit things with this attack. Now with the second light attack, you can see that this one has a much better angle. It starts from your top left and ends at the bottom right and still comes out very quickly. This one also has the linesman attribute, so you are similarly going to cleave through unarmored elites pretty well. Light attack 2 is such a good attack for scoring headshots. We often spam light 1, light 2 in order to clear hordes that are low density. It's a very good combo for scoring headshots. And we can see you also have very good reach with this attack as well. You won't have trouble hitting any headshots. You can see that both light 1 and light 2 happen to cover a lot of your right side, so you want to keep your enemies to your right in order to score headshots and cleave more. Now onto light 3. We can see light 3 is a quick slash from the dagger starting from the bottom left, ending at the top right. It does not do very much damage when compared to the light 1 and light 2, but it does have additional crit chance and it applies a bleed. The bleed is not that significant, so I don't end up using this attack very much. You usually just stick to light 1, light 2. You can also see the range on this attack is not as good compared to light 1 and light 2. You might miss some staggered enemies, and the only real reason to use this attack is to proc swift swing with the increased crit chance. Now onto the fourth and last attack of the light chain combo. It is a thrust forward. So you can see the hitbox is just a rectangle that's slightly angled, and it goes straight forward and has pretty decent range. Although this thrust angle and the hitbox is pretty good for scoring headshots, it's not that useful because the damage is quite low. It does have an increased crit chance, which is good for proccing swift slaying, but it isn't really included in any horde clear combos because it's not very good cleave, and it's after light 3, which is an attack you don't really want to be doing that much. It's also worth mentioning that this attack does have good armor damage, so you can use this to try to pick out an armored elite from within a horde. But unless you want to specifically go out of your way to use this move, there's really no reason to use light 3 or light 4, so I will go entire runs without throwing light 3 or light 4 out, and it'll just be just fine. You don't need light 3 and light 4 to do any horde clear, and you don't need them to deal with armor or to deal with bosses, so I end up never throwing this move out. It is worth noting that there is a talent that increases damage by 20% if they're bleeding, so there's that for light 3. Now onto the push attack. The push attack of the Sword and Dagger is very flexible. You can see the hitbox for the push attack is very similar to light 4, that it has very good reach, and the angle is very good for scoring headshots. You can also use push attack to move faster. The push attack will increase your movement speed, and it will make you slightly faster. And take a look at that reach. That is very good range. That will help you poke at elites when you're trying to cut away. Knowing how this hitbox looks and how it's a tilted rectangle, we can apply this to score more headshots. So when you use this push attack, try to aim to the top right of their head. That will give you better odds of hitting this headshot, so you can see hitting the top left will not. This attack also has 10% crit, so if you throw this in every now and then, you will keep swiftling up pretty consistently. It's a very flexible move. Now onto the first heavy attack. This is a double cross attack where you swing both of your sword and your dagger, covering a lot of the screen here. It's a very wide coverage, and interestingly, it starts behind you. So in theory, this could hit something behind you before you hit what's in front of you. That would be interesting to test. This move is used in the Horde Clear combo Heavy 1, Light Attack 2, because it is good at dealing with mixed hordes. It's got a very long sweep. Because of its angles, it comes from the top left and the top right. It's very likely to score headshots, and you can use this to work on mixed hordes. So if they're armored elites, this is going to deal damage to the armored, and it's going to score some headshots. And then when you hit Light 2 afterwards, it's going to use its linesman attribute to cleave through some of those unarmored elites. So Heavy 1, Light 2 is the standard for dense hordes, and it's a very flexible move. Use Heavy 1 and Light 2 very often. Those are very good moves. Now, looking in third person, it highlights more clearly what happens when the hitbox starts behind you. So as you start, you can see the hitbox starts behind you and then comes in front of you. This is a great move to use with your Infiltrate Backstab. Now, Heavy 2 is the hardest hitting of all your attacks. If you're going to try to stab a boss with your Infiltrate Backstab, use Heavy 2. Heavy 2 also has a very short reach, as you can see. Does not reach very far. It starts right at your head, and it stabs directly down. So it is going to be a little finicky to try to pick out certain elites sometimes because you don't have that reach. Now, the fastest way into Heavy 2 is a push attack, which does a thrust, and it's easy to angle the thrust such that you don't hit anything, and so you can save your Infiltrate Backstab for your Heavy 2. And you can see you don't really have great range with Heavy 2. It will help a lot if you try to jump to try to score headshots, but you cannot block during Heavy 1 and Heavy 2. You cannot cancel these attacks to immediately go into a block like you can with your light attacks, and that makes you very vulnerable while you do it. So be careful when you're jumping, be careful when you're going after a boss with this move. In conclusion, you have two combos for clearing the trash hordes. You can use Light 1, Light 2 to cleave through hordes that are on your right and are not too dense, but the moment you start getting a mixed horde with some armored and they're kind of really dense, you want to use Heavy 1, Light 2. And when you're kiting away, be sure to use a lot of push attacks to gain extra speed and to pick out elites, and use Heavy 2 whenever you're dealing with any armored elites or any bosses, because it has the most damage. Because the push attack is so flexible and so good, I usually put on extra stamina so I can push attack more often. Now here's a run of Return to Reikland that I really enjoyed using the Sword and Dagger on. It's a lot of fun using the push attack to try to gain a little bit of extra speed. Gives you something to do all the time. Here I use the Heavy 1 attack with the Infiltrate Backstab, and the really wide sweep and the range lets me get the backstab on those elites. Very handy. This is opposed to the dual daggers, which I have trouble hitting more than one elite with, so. Let's fight the Rat Ogre. Oh no, it's the Vile Troll. I love doing the Troll optional boss. It's so much fun. Here, I'm getting ready to do the boss, so I'm preparing to apply shrapnel and go for an Infiltrate Backstab. which I have trouble getting to the back of the ogre, but fortunately I find his back with my heavy 2, which is the hardest hitting attack, and there goes half his health. It's always satisfying. Here a gas rat spawns, and I try to snipe him, but I always have trouble hitting headshots on gas rats. I'm not sure where the head is actually located. Now I'm trying to finish out the boss, but I notice there's a lot of trash, there's a lot of elites, so try to back off a bit. And here I'm gonna try to fish for a blur, but I'm gonna fail miserably and go down. Oh, god damn it. There's just too many trash. I failed that. The lesson here is to kite when you're not sure, instead of trying to fish for a blur.
We could do it, you wanna?
After my revive, we can go for it. We don't have really a bomb though. Can we still do it? Oh, we have bombs here.
We could do it.
Here's where the patrol really hits, and I land a really satisfying bomb. Fortunately, my team takes all the aggro. I can just spam heavy attacks into the backs. Oh, the slaughter. It's so brutal. Now we're on to the boat part. The boat part usually takes a long time, so it's not my favorite, but you can dodge while you're crouched. On this map, Return to Reichland, the beach is usually the crescendo event, so that is where I try to hoard all of my resources.
How many
you can get cosmetics
red
though.
Do you guys have?
I have like 2. I'm so poor. I'm so poor. I have not enough reds. I make do with oranges.
I have all my builds in reds, and I have like
What the
a good amount extra, but I don't have like that much extra.
I think that was a really slick blur backstab for 2 elites. Here I see plague rats, so I immediately go stealth. I don't like dealing with plague rats. Hook rat tries to jump up here, but look at that really absurd range with the heavy 1. So generous. I spot a Chaos Warrior here, and I laser focus onto him with a blur heavy 2 backstab. Quite proud of that. Now I make use of the heavy 1 infiltrate backstab breakpoint that you can reach with 10% to chaos, 10% to armored, and with cruelty. So that is an awesome break. Now here's the beach part on Return to Reichland. We're making our last stand on the boat to make use of the cannons there. Normally this is a very tough hold because it throws everything at you on this beach. Here I spot 2 Chaos Warriors, and I know it's my cue to go in. That never gets old. Double Chaos Warrior on backstab infiltrate. God. Oh, thank you. It's always nice to have a teammate that looks out for you, and try to be that teammate too. I was just getting a bomb. what embarrassing bomb throw. That hit nothing. I'm thinking about doing a video comparing the dual daggers with the sword and dagger and the dual sword, so let me know if you're interested in the comments.
Good, we're good. Nice, well played.
And that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed.